Hi, welcome back on my channel. I'm always Stefania, aka Namastefi, and today we're starting a new series. The name of the series is Tales of a Vintage Librarian. And so I'm talking about books, one of my favorite topic, and the topic of this first episode is spooky seasons books. Of course, I am reading in both languages, Italian and English, so I'm trying to give you a lot of information if the book is in Italian to understand what I'm talking about. For example, the original title if the book was originally in English language. So we're starting with the books that I'm currently reading. I have two books. One I have on in my yoga studio, so it's not here with me, but I think I can talk about it with you. And both are from Shirley Jackson. The first is a collection of short stories called The Lottery. Is this? I'm about not halfway through. I've read 3 of the short stories. I love this edition. It's very precious, and you can hear it's hardcover. And these short stories are very little bit spooky, but of course the style is Shirley Jackson, so subtle, not so. For example, it's not Grady Hendrix or Stephen King style. It's more subtle, and I can say more feminine as horror and thriller stories. I can say I'm liking it a lot, and I'm reading this at breakfast. So when I'm having my breakfast, I'm reading this to skip a little bit the use of technology, so tablet and so on. And from Shirley Jackson, I am reading another book in Italian, which is We've Always Lived in the Castle. And I started it yesterday, so I am at the beginning of this book. I am liking it again. It's a new style. I've never read nothing from Shirley Jackson until now, so I can say that I'm liking her as a writer of this kind of stories, so gothic and horror, yes, a little bit. And so in We've Always Lived in the Castle, we're having, for the moment, I'm not spoiling anything, we're having a point of view of the main character living in a little village, and she's saying that everyone hates her family in that village. So what are we going to see? I don't know. I'm not searching. I am not the person who likes to take a look further into the book. I like to be surprised. So I am not searching for the second part of the book, and I may be giving you my impressions in the other video, so when I'm finishing the book. But I can give you an advice to read Shirley Jackson if you like gothic horror and gothic stories, because they're really beautiful and interesting. So these are the first 2 books. And what I finished this book from Riley Sager, or Sager, I don't know the right pronunciation. The original title was Home Before Dark. In Italian is A Casa Prima di Sera, and I finished in about 4 days. So it's almost 400 pages, but it's a page turner, I can say. So I liked it, and I've never read anything from Riley Sager. In Italy, we don't have a lot of his books, because they haven't been translated a lot, and the publisher is a little publisher, Time Crime, so it's not the big publishers from Italy. So if you are buying it online, you will find it, but into the bookshops you have to ask, and maybe they will book and they will pick it up, and maybe you can pick it up after several days. So maybe try to find if in your area you will find these books from Rally Sager. So this is the story of Megan. Maggie is the name used into the book mostly, and she comes from a family in which there have been a traumatic experience with a haunted house. Her father wrote a book about that experience. She grew up, and so she's adult, and she's searching for, I can say, for the truth, because every time she thought about this experience, something was not right, and she didn't believe about what her father wrote, what her father told to everyone, to speculate about this experience. So it's a book about a haunted house, but has a lot of plot twists. So don't be fooled from the main theme of the haunted house. It's really intriguing, and I say 4 stars on 5. It's my review, and this is from Rally Sager. So now for the spooky season, I have my TBR, so the books that I want to read before the changing of season. Again, half of these books are in Italian, half are in English. I can talk. And so I'm starting with the first one, which is in Italian. It's The Woman in Black, so La Donna in Nero, from and by Susan Hill. It's a Gothic, Victorian and classic horror. The fact is that it's a Gothic kind of horror, but the author is still alive, so I think it's inspired by the Gothic theme, and it's about this, I can say, advocate, yes, Arthur Kipps, which has to manage the end of life of one family, and one day while he's attending to the funeral of one of these members, he takes a look around and sees this woman in black. We have a lot of things which are intriguing. The woman in black, it's a ghost or it's not. The mysterious home in which you can arrive only when there's not the water, because it's on the water, on the sea. So we have a lot of elements, and I think I will like it. And I like this edition. Is little and is inexpensive for Italian standards. Here books are expensive, and so I can say I will like it. And you can see the cover is really beautiful, really gothic and intriguing. So The Woman in Black is in my TBR. And now we have a new collection of short stories. It's from the Gothic series Dark Tales. It's in Italian again. It's called Abisso. And we have some short stories about the sea, the water, so a lot of things that maybe will come from the water and will haunt you, your dreams. So, for example, we have stories from Charles Nicholas Barham and from Frederick Britton Olmsted, and so on. So I'm really curious to read these short stories. I try to alternate short stories and novels because I don't like to read only short stories, but sometimes they're good and you can read them in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, so they are a good resource when you're short in time and you want to read something. And again, look at the cover, it's really beautiful. And so this is Abisso, and I can translate it because it's an Italian series from Dark Tales. It's inspired by the Gothic series of the British Library, so maybe you will find something similar in English, but it's in Italian. Another book in Italian, this is a murder mystery from Dan McDormand. In Italian is Un tranquillo weekend di omicidi. In English, the original title was West Heart Kill, and is a murder mystery, something very related to the spooky season. Take a look to the cover, it's really intriguing. And we have this club of people. It's a haunted club, and they are isolated because there's a tempest, there's a very hellstorm around them, and they have a secret, and everyone is suspected. So it's a classic of thriller and murder mysteries, and I of course am reading it in this spooky season, and I can say that I think I'm going to like it. I didn't catch any of this book from other reviews, so sometimes I try to take a look to the reviews, but I try also to be free in my choices because I don't want to be influenced, because there is a book that I didn't like and I bought it luckily in ebook because of influencers. So I think the right choice is not to be influenced by other people. So you too, I give you advice, but try to think about your tastes and your choices and what you like when you're reading books. And now we have two books in English. The first is The London Science Society, a novel by Sarah Penner, and it takes place in 1833 with a chateau which is abandoned. And we have a spiritualist, we have the science, we have a lot of topics that I like very much. So it's about ghosts, it's about the afterlife, but it's about also mysteries to solve. And I am going to read it in this spooky season because I think I will like it. And it has a lot of positive reviews. And also on Amazon I found it at a very affordable price, so it's a plus point for this book. I can see the original price, it was very high, so $30, but I bought it for about €5, so very small price. And I am very intrigued by this because I love ghost stories. I also love, for example, the atmosphere of the haunted mansion from Disneyland. So I'm really curious to read this, and I will give you after my review. And I thought this was in English because it has the English title, but I showed you this book in my last video, is The Monstrous Kind, but it's in Italian. So has the same cover, I think, in Italian and in English. And we have this Norland house with a fantasy. It's I think it's young adults, which takes place in an atmosphere really similar to Sense and Sensibility, so Regency, and I think I will like it a lot. And the artwork is really beautiful, not only on the cover but also into the book, for example this. And I can say, I think that in English, so the original one will be the same. And yes, I can say intriguing, and I'm reading it again in this spooky season. Now we're going to talk about the audiobooks that I'm listening to and that I've finished, and we're finishing with the book that I didn't like. And now we're ready to take a look. Sorry, I have a lot of allergy, and when the heating turns on, my allergies speak up. So sorry, I have to clean my nose very frequently, but please be kind, because I am not in a very good state when I have my allergies. So I was talking about the audiobooks, and we're starting from the books that I've concluded, so I've finished. The first is from Blackwood Algernon. I try sometimes to listen to English audiobook, but in this period of time I'm listening mostly to Italian versions because I have to relax a little bit my ears. And so the title in Italy is Vecchie Stregonerie. In English, the original title was Ancient Sorceries. And so it's a short story, it's about 1 hour and a half. And I listened to this book on this Italian, I can say, app, which is Storytel. It's not Audible, because a lot of titles in Italy you can't find on Audible. And we have this little novel. Is a short story about a home, a haunted home, and in this case a haunted place, a haunted village in France. So a man goes to France by train and stops because he's tired and doesn't want to stay on the train with a lot of people. All the novel, it's about an interview made from an expert of a paranormal to the main character of the tale. So this man stops in this French village, and in this French, I can say, home, renting home. And at first everything seemed very relaxed, really tranquil, but after a while it starts to find things a little bit hard, I can talk, but a little bit hard, and people start to behave very strangely, and I can't spoil you all the things that are happening into this short story, but it's really intriguing and of course subtle because it's gothic, and so there's not a lot of gore, for example, blood, not a lot. And so if you like this kind of stories, if you like cats, I can say, you can listen to this audiobook from Algernon Blackwood, Ancient Sorceries in English. After, I decided to give my heart again to Edgar Allan Poe. So I've listened to his short stories, and we had about four short stories. If you didn't know about Poe, please give him a chance. Again, Gothic short stories, Gothic horror is one of my passion, because I like this style of writing, this style of horror, the fact that you can't see everything into the story, but you are a little bit scared when you can read or listen to this. So this was, take a look, there's a black cat from Edgar Allan Poe. I hope you can see it. It's really bright, so not, but it was a short story collection from Poe. Then I had a little bit of disappointment from Grady Hendrix. and his novel How to Sell a Haunted House. Again, I listened to it in Italian, so in Italian was Vendesi Casa Infestata, but no, for me is a big no. Okay, I am not scared by puppeteers, by dolls, by this kind of things. So this was the first thing that it wasn't for me. But it's not believable. So it looks like the writer finished his ideas and decided to bring everything together into one novel, so ghosts and imaginary friends and so on. So I'm not giving you the advice to read How to Sell a Haunted House, because it's very strange and I didn't like, and it's not the novel that I liked a lot from Grady Hendrix. So My Best Friend's Exorcism. Sorry for Italian people, this word in English is really strange to pronunciate. So it's not, I didn't like it, and my review is not positive. So maybe you can take a look at this book, but it's not one of my favorite books. Then I listened to The Vampire from John William Polidori. I think again it's from the Gothic era, and it's about a vampire, and it's a classic story, so I liked a lot, and it was very well read from the narrator, and had a lot of music, so a lot of little moments of music and sounds in the background. My camera died. Everything is going not so well in this morning. I was talking about The Vampire, so the audiobook from John William Polidori, and I was telling you about the fact that the audiobook is really beautiful, because it has not only the part in which we can hear the novel, but also a little bit of music, background sound. So the atmosphere is really intriguing and a little bit spooky, so I can say that I liked. And now I'm listening to The Good Girl's Guide to Murder from Holly Jackson, sorry. I am liking it a lot. I'm listening in Italian, so in Italian it's Come uccidono le brave ragazze, and is a young adult, but I'm liking it a lot. So again, the voices are very intriguing. We have a lot of mysteries, and the rhythm of the novel is really, yes, involving for the people that are listening to it. And then I have one ebook that I didn't like. And with a lot of hype, and I don't know why people had this hype about this book. So I can show you it. Maybe you had a review about this book. Okay, maybe we can do it. Yes. And the book is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So I have it on my Kindle. So what I can say about The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, I think a lot of marketing has been made about this book, about the title, about the fact that I discovered that the writer and the author is not Laurie Gilmore. This is not her real name. So I think that they created a lot of hype for the fans of Gilmore Girls. I'm a big fan of Gilmore Girls, so don't touch my favorite TV series of all time. I like a lot it. I'm not a fan of a lot of TV series. For example, Scrubs is one of another TV series that I liked a lot, but Gilmore Girls is in my heart and always will be. So I'm a big fan, and I think that they used a lot this thing to bring the people to read this book, but I found it really predictable and banal, and so I can say nothing positive about it. I'm really sorry. I don't like to give very bad reviews about books, but this is the case. So from the first page I was very bored, and I can see what was going in the future, what was going through, and so I read it in English because in Italian will be published in about 2 weeks. If you don't like the cheesy romance, if you don't like this kind of books, please don't read it, okay? So this is my opinion, of course. I'm not the publisher of this book. I know there's a series and a lot of people liked it, so don't be mad at me because I didn't like it, because it's only my opinion. I don't like this kind of books, okay? Sometimes I like a romance, but maybe a little bit more complicated and with a little bit more intriguing people into it, real people, for example. So I saw a lot of Gilmore Girls references into it, for example, the little city, the city council, and so on. So it's really inspired by Gilmore Girls, but there's not the magic of the TV series. So this was my first video for this new series of Tales of a Vintage Librarian. I'm really glad to have you here, and please give to me your suggestions about your books for this spooky season. Leave a comment, subscribe, give a thumb up. I hug you all, and thank you for watching this video, and see you very soon. Ciao!